Here we go.
All
Hi,
right.
Luke.
Well, welcome to the Beer League podcast, and I'm one of your hosts, Lou B.E.E.R, and 800 or 900 miles to my west, but east of Sycamore, is is
Got
Jake,
Polish
my
name.
guest.
Yeah. 6 weeks left, dude. 6 weeks. That's nothing.
Yeah,
It's gonna be gone before we know it.
I know. I think we're all ready for a reboot, but it still is like a little sad toward the end of the year, because even though at first it's kind of nice it's liberating to not have to worry about the 4 o'clock games or something like that, but a couple months in, you miss it. So
Another thing is trade deadline is this week too, Thursday.
yeah,
When is the deadline for that? Is it like midnight or?
it says that Thursday's the last day you can make a trade, so I'm thinking that means all the way through Thursday. I'm not sure though. I don't promise anything. I don't know. I don't know how the great Yahoo decides these things, but I just picked apart their words, and they said that the last day to make a trade is Thursday. So I'm thinking that means anytime Thursday, right?
The great Yahoo in the sky decides.
And that's I think that's California time.
Yeah, it goes by California time. I noticed that as soon as you can make the moves is like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then waivers go through at 3 o'clock in the morning for Central Time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 4 o'clock in the morning your time and 3 o'clock in the morning your time. So,
yeah.
And that in essence is midnight and 1 o'clock to them. So, yeah. So we got that. Why don't we let our guests in before they get
Sure.
tired?
We got two again.
Well, we got one in here so far, and you want to text Chris real quick to see if he's working at it?
Sure.
Almatesia. Hey, he's inside. I was about to say you're not going to have much daylight if you're outside. That's for sure. Paul?
Yeah.
Welcome. We're waiting on
Paul.
Mr. Larkin. He did text me and ask me what time we're starting, and I just put 8. I didn't put 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. I figured he knew that.
So, Paul, since I know that you get up so early and usually sign off early, I'm going to make a concerted effort not to talk. I'm going to let you talk, unless somebody asks me a direct question. But even then, I might defer to you. So,
Paul is a man of many words.
Just so you know.
Right.
Quiet. Christ, you don't bark until I get on this goddamn thing. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, Paul's probably the littlest big mouth that we have in the league, right? I mean, wouldn't you rank him like number 1?
I would say that. He does like to talk his baseball, though.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that might be Chris Larkin.
I think when I
Larkin, how are you?
When I listen back on these podcasts, I realize I think I can't hear as well when we're doing them live as I can when I watch it, because there was one time we were searching for who had the most wins, and you kept saying it oh, I see a 114 there, and it didn't register at all.
Yeah.
So just so you know, Paul,
all right, it's okay. That's okay.
I did hear you, but it was only the second.
No problem. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon. Yeah, doing fine. We're in the middle of this.
All right.
All right, cool. He got stuck at his kid's school. He's hoping to be on around 9.
Okay.
But we got Paul all to ourselves.
All right.
How you guys doing?
Let's do it.
Good. You got any ambition towards a trade deadline coming up on Thursday?
No, but didn't give any thought to it. I don't know.
I don't think that there's going to be too much, but
yeah.
I'll try to do something. But
I mean, I should have traded Trout earlier this year, but that was. Oh,
Trout, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few offers for him like back in April and May.
He's coming back any day, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Hmm.
But I didn't get any value out of him this year.
What if you got 3 good rookies for him or 3 good NA players for him?
Yeah. I don't know.
What did you retain him, or was he in the auction? You got him?
It was an auction. I picked him, so
Oh, so you
How
can
much did
retain
you
him
get
next
him
year.
for? Like $90,
it was like
95?
90. I think it was 90. That's the most I ever spent on a player before.
Well, I wish I could say that, but I think Soto beat me.
You got Betts one year. I think you and I bid it on Betts, and you got him, didn't you? And I think it was like over 90, unless it wasn't you that got Betts.
Bets was 70 or some shit.
No, like this was a few years ago. It was like
Uh,
when I couldn't believe it. I was actually going to go over 90 for a player, but I still didn't get him. So, I don't know if that was you, Paul. I thought maybe it was.
Maybe I don't remember. No, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
probably wasn't. Well, should I just pull up the standings and we'll?
why not?
Sure. I had a good period.
You got to see you take a look at what I've done over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's good. 22-8, I think.
I just jumped into 7th place, and I am six wins away from 5th place, which is kind of what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, so Satch went 6-0 back to back. He's got a 21 game lead.
That's crazy.
You know,
That's 21 game lead. What's this magic number here?
I think it's 114 is the record. So he's on pace now for 116, according to the model. And then 19 games was the largest lead over second. So he's already at 21. So it looks like he's gonna break both, at least one of them, unless he has a big tail off. He's gonna get both of them. And then the daddies now for 6th. So that's nice, because you were down like the model had you like 10th. I don't think it ever had you last, did it?
The Buddha?
No, the model.
Oh, no, it did not. It never had me last, but I was always, it had me at like 10th place, 9th.
It has you one game ahead of Paulzadi here. So that'll be a battle, right?
We'll see.
Well, if Let's Play keeps having 1 in 5 weeks, and I still keep having 4 and 2 ones, I think I'll catch him in a little bit here.
Yeah, it's up. There's 36 left. So you really gotta kick ass down.
I mean, there are some people that could, possibly, depending on like injuries or just whatnot, people get cold and stuff. You can end the season just as bad as somebody started the season.
Yeah, so we can see Daddy's 8-4, 13-5, only second to Satch. 17-7, only second to Satch. 22-8, ditto. 23-10, ditto. Nice. So going back 6 weeks, you're second in the league. And then you got company. If we go back 7 with sombreros.
Yeah.
If we go back 8, is that when you lose your magic? 28-18. So you're
third.
That's
well, it was about like 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago that I made those trades.
Yeah.
So I kind of cleaned house and made a bunch of trades, and ever since then, my team has kind of taken off. I think some of my players are scared that they're going to get a heave-ho too if they don't act right.
So players of the week, I wanted to point out that the keeper.
I have 2. That's crazy.
What is that?
I have 2 players of the week.
So do I.
Remember, you were on here the second time, and you said I never have players of the week.
No, twice.
Same week. And actually, Ruiz is a back-to-back. He's a back-to-back cow.
Oh, he's a good catcher.
Catcher of the week. So,
how about Julio Rodriguez? What a fucking 5-game span he had, huh?
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was nuts. I mean, I was impressed when he had 9 hits in 2 games. And then he had 13 hits in 3 games.
Yeah.
His batting average this late in the season, if it was earlier in the season he did that shit, his batting average would jump 200 points.
Yeah.
But being late in the season, you think, well, he did that in a short stretch. Yeah, maybe he got an extra, 10 points, That son of a bitch got over 20 points.
Yeah.
as far as like making his batting average right. He went from like 248, 249 to like 270 something.
When I saw it, and there was still at
And
least
that's
a
late in
game.
the season.
There was still at least a game left in his streak, and I saw they said it was like he started off at 256, 257, and it was at 275 when they said that. But he still had another game that he got 3 hits or whatever. I said, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, talking about getting hot, man. Jesus.
So Julio, and you had Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr. had a great couple weeks.
And Christian Walker for Sombreros.
Bobby Witt Jr. has really come on in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. First half, lackluster.
You had 2 POWs. You had Dakota Hudson too.
Hmm.
You and Bizotti had 4 of the 7 points of the week.
I just picked him up Sunday, and I'm keeping him for a little while.
And Let's Play had Logan Allen, and that's everybody. So we know all this stuff by heart. Bizotti leads in games played. Bake's way under. Daddy's right in the middle. And Baked is still in top Buddha, and Bizzotti's still lucky laggards. And IP overage still McBride's, although it's down. It was like up 175, wasn't it? Now he's at 126.
I'm not that far behind him.
And cows are +7, so cows are in good shape. They're not under, and they're under everybody else, so that's good. And then Baked was weekend warrior, and cows spun 3 games of straw to go 0-6. And then lucky Babbitt hitting, still McBride's on top. Sombreros unlucky. Pitching play lucky, and Satch unlucky. Satch's number keeps coming down.
Well, at least I'm off that list now.
Yeah, Satch was like 83, I think, at his height, so he's coming back to the pack.
You told me to go like for moves in the league. What's the secret? What's he doing to win so often? Any guys on his team?
Talking about how many moves he's done?
Yeah.
It's over 400.
Who's he shuffling in and out all the time? I don't keep track of. What's the secret to?
Well, he just streams like what you do with catcher, right? I mean,
yeah.
What you do with catcher, he does in a lot of spots, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so Satch has got 425 moves.
Yeah.
The next closest person is you, Paul, with 213.
Right.
Wow. That's half.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, I wish there was a limit of moves. Make people hold on to people more often. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, Yahoo's max is 150 right now.
I would even deal with that. Make you think twice about grabbing somebody.
I mean, I could do it because that's about what I'm on pace for, but I don't know if that's the fair way to go about it, just because something wouldn't affect me, So.
You got Chad, who's a farmer. Paul works in like a law office. We don't have. I know he's got like the bar and everything, but I don't have the time to research like I used to. I've got so much other shit. I don't know.
Well, I'm still going to try to win like I want to do it, and I know it could be futile, but maybe it'll be like John Henry's hammer, right? Right? I'm still doing it the old way. I don't know. I wanted to point out that we had said at least a couple or 3 times like that Chad doesn't have NA players, but when I looked at NA players, he had at least 2 and maybe 3 that I would have picked up. I changed the way I'm doing the NA players. That's why I dropped like 9 guys last night or whatever, because I was doing it with all these books, and I realized I'm just not going to buy the books anymore. I might buy 1, but I'm not going to. I was getting like 5 books and averaging together, but he has Cam Collier, and no, I could be wrong about that. That could be Sager, but I don't know. He had another one too. So Chad does have some NA players. I mean, he's not an NA hound, but it's not like he's not going after that. So I don't know. Sometimes your reputation takes a while to get updated, in this league, I think so.
I think when you do too many moves like that too, it just kind of defeats the purpose of what this is more of like a dynasty franchise league and shit.
Yeah. Well, anyways, well, let's look at this real quick. We already looked at the prediction model, so we'll just look at Paul's team. I'm sure it looks pretty similar. You can see Paul's hitting has been the thing that's held him back, and his pitching is more middle of the pack. He's second in save percentage, and let's see what you are, and just in save and hold points, you are probably pretty good. You are Zadi is in fifth, so right in the middle. But your pitching's been, fine, and it's just your hitting that hasn't
Right.
come through that great. So I guess Trout would have helped a little bit, right?
Right.
So, well, since Chris isn't here, maybe we'll look at the prediction pool since he's not in it. You want to look at that real quick?
Oh, oh my God.
This will be the last time we look at it before the end of the year. I don't know if any of us are looking that good.
Oh,
Okay, I have the Braves, so that's good.
Paul
Paul is the
White
Yankees.
Sox to win the AL West Central.
I think Yankees. Oh my God.
Paul and Norm have the Yankees. Jeff has Seattle, so I guess they're still in the running. So my Atlanta looks good. Toronto, no, I don't know about that one.
No chance. All right.
Yeah. So our consensus World Series champ was the Yankees. Usually a consensus would be it'd be the strength of the four of us put together,
Nobody picked Tampa Bay.
We had Yankees.
Wait, no, you did. Okay, for the wild card.
So
a lot of people picked Tampa Bay for the wild card, but didn't pick them to win their division.
Yeah. All right, Tampa. I like Toronto. Well, you had Toronto too, Jeff. Good. Yeah, three of us had Cleveland. Only Paul.
No one had Baltimore.
Oh. No one had Baltimore making the playoffs, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Whew, I don't think
they would have Texas. Yeah, Norm had Texas.
I don't think we're going to get any job offers from this performance.
No.
So I was going to say Paul was the only one that didn't have Cleveland in the Central, but he had the White Sox. So
yeah,
he doesn't get spared there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now. You got it goes Baltimore, Tampa, Toronto, Boston, New York.
Yeah, share that one.
New York is out 17 games.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll share it. Yeah.
Share the wild card standings. I like when they do that.
Okay. Oh my God.
I still think.
All right, so yeah, I mean, it's Atlanta still has the most wins. They're good. Texas is a good team. Houston's right behind them. Minnesota's kind of starting to run away with the Central.
Yeah, it's not true.
Still tight in the National League Central. Shit, nobody's going to catch the Dodgers. That's done. Nobody's going to catch Atlanta. That's done.
So the Cubs have a wild card spot now. I didn't know that. That's good.
No, they shouldn't. You got San Francisco there, and you got Philadelphia.
And there's the third one.
Oh, is there three now? Okay,
yeah,
so
they're ahead of Arizona and Cincy now.
Only because they didn't play as many games.
Well, it's still they're a game back of the Cubs.
I mean, you got three other teams that are 64 and 61. You got Miami, Cincinnati, and Arizona. So they're right there.
Yeah, way back when the Cubs were probably similar to where the Angels were as far as games back and wild card, you knew the Cubs path was going to be easier because some of those teams, Giants, Arizona, Cincy, you kind of expected could fall, but the teams in front of LA, and of course they've played like crap too, but even if they had played well, like the teams ahead of them are probably just better than they are. They're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
Toronto, Seattle, Houston. That's pretty tough, and then you take, Tampa and Toronto in the East. So That's just too many teams. That's not even counting the Yankees and Red Sox now because they're done. It seems like so. So not that I fault them for, trying to keep Otani. I think that's what it was all about, right? That's what people recognize, that they weren't really thinking with their, they weren't really thinking. They were just, they weren't thinking they were gonna win the World Series this year, but they're thinking like, if we trade Otani, there's no way he's coming back. So they're still hoping, I think, that he comes back.
I never noticed this stuff over here. Recent debuts, in memoriam, people who recently died, born on this day. I've never noticed these things over here.
Noelve Marte, that might be a guy that Chad has on his NA. I could be wrong about that, but
Well, let's take a look at who is Noelve Marte? Well, he's a pinch runner and third baseman. Why would they put pinch runner and third baseman?
He must have just come in as a pinch runner his first game.
Herb Washington, whatever that guy.
Yeah, he goes, I will just pinch run, but if you need me to play the field, the best is third base.
Oakland doesn't designate a runner.
He's got 1 hit, 4 at bats. He's already got a stolen base. Now you know why.
He came from Seattle, right?
He's 21 years old. He's young as shit.
Was that the Castillo deal?
We can find out. Let's go down. Let's see here. I think they drafted him or signed him as he doesn't have any
Oh, I thought they got him in a deal. I could be wrong.
There's a lot of Martes out there. Let's see here. Let's go back up. More debut. Contract status not updated. Okay, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're a Cubs fan, right? Or
oh, he's a Sox fan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So are you anti-Cubs?
Oh yeah.
I am anti-Cubs, man. I mean, you don't have to be anti-anything.
My ethos.
Why you got to be hate?
Because if you don't be a true White Sox fan, you have to hate the Cubs.
That's not true.
That's part of it. It's part of the deal.
Well, okay, then I guess I'm not a true White Sox fan, even though I root for them every goddamn game.
I was anti-Cubs when I was in Chicago, but that was because I was a Mets fan, and they weren't nice to the Mets. But now that I've been out here for so long, now 17 years, that has really mellowed. I find I hate a lot fewer teams than I used to. Like even I used to hate the Cowboys, and I don't really care anymore. I don't even hate the Yankees, really. I don't know. The only teams I hate are the ones that do the tomahawk chop. I just can't stand that. But just because it's irritating, not out of any sort of political correctness.
There's some Native American group I heard recently are trying to get the Washington Redskins name back.
Really?
Yeah.
That ship has sailed.
We should call them the Washington sexual harassers, right?
I'm watching the game right now. It's the Ravens Redskins.
The Washington grab asses.
You've got all the politicians there, so it would really fit. What game did you say he's on?
The Ravens and Commanders.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever. I had the White Sox game on, but they're losing 5-1. So
I was watching Mets Braves. They're actually winning 7-4. But
I watched the Texas California Little League World Series game. That was that was good. Texas won. They're good.
Any local teams? Who's left now?
I think it's Texas, California. I'm not sure.
Probably China Taipei.
Yeah. There's a team from Curacao or somewhere, Aruba, maybe.
I remember it was 20. Well, I guess it's almost 30. I think that's got to be 30 years ago now. Jeez. But my cousin was in the regional game in the Midwest, where if they had won that game, they would have gone to Williamsport, but they lost, so so he didn't get to go.
Yeah.
I played in the All-Star team that was part of that tournament. We got knocked out in the first round though. It was 1982. I think that was the year that the Kirkland Washington team won, the Cody Webster year. Remember that? That kid? This was 19. First time US won in like a decade or something. It was like this
Where
kid.
did you grow up? Did you grow up in Illinois or Indiana?
Downers Grove, yeah.
Oh, okay, Downers Grove, yeah. My wife's from Darien.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
She went to high school there?
Yeah, she went to Hinsdale South.
Okay, I went to Downers Grove South. Yeah. I know where that's at.
A quick little tidbit about Paul you may not know is that he has this jacket, a Subway jacket, for making like he's in a competition so you can make the fastest sandwich. Was that what it was?
No, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, you got to show you to see this.
It probably looks like an Oakland A's
I
jacket.
see it every time we have wild card weekend. So he won an award while he worked at Subway when I thought back in high school.
Is that?
That is vintage.
Nice.
Goodness.
Oh,
Is that an 80? Was that a 90, a 91? What year is that?
This is an 87, I think. Yeah.
That's an 87.
I won it. I finished fourth in the Midwest Regional Sub Jammer competition.
I think you should autograph that and stick it in that frame.
You make the BMT in the fastest amount of time. With like 4 tomatoes, 4 pickles. So I actually in this high school, I had my mother calling sick for me to the high school so I can go with my Subway manager to Wisconsin to compete in the regionals. My mother was like, "Where's your Subway manager taking you?" I was like, "He's taking me across state lines to compete in this sandwich."
Was Jared with you? Thank God.
I got that satin jacket. I got a check for $25 and got to miss school.
$24. Keep your mouth shut, right?
Yeah.
But you must have taken the blue pill that day.
Well, you got
we had the regionals competition was at our store, and the defending like champion was from Springfield, Illinois, and he came up and he sliced his finger. This is back when they did the U gouge.
Uh-huh.
And he sliced his finger and it was like spurting blood.
You lose. Automatic disqualification.
Yeah, so I ended up winning our like store. I mean, I had my own bread picked out. I had like a real hard piece of bread.
Did he still serve the sandwich?
We gave him some homeless shelter or something. I was like, oh, no, the bloody one. No, they got rid of that.
Okay, I thought that would be the first one he sent to the homeless shelter.
This guy came all the way from Springfield to Downers Grove to compete in this contest, and he cut himself. He's the very first contestant.
How old was the guy?
He was probably early 20s.
Was he
I was 15, I was 16, 17.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to buy LSD from the Subway manager. It took me across the state line. That was part of
Don't drop any of those in there. Don't drop any of those in the Capicola or something.
Yeah, yeah. But that's back when the Subway used to slice their own stuff. I guess they're going back to that now. So we'd slice it all up, and it was like every store could order from like local like delis and stuff. So we had some really high quality meats we used, and I think it was as expensive back in 1987 as it is today. It's like the same.
Well, I mean, now I'm sure they're not using the same expensive quality meats. I mean, they've really dumbed it down.
Like turkey-based stuff and shit.
That's how they get you. You know,
I won't eat it. I hate that place so much.
They present one thing and then they bait and switch into doing something else. You know, it's like if you look at Pizza Hut, they're the shell of the former self. Domino's is terrible.
I won't eat.
Burger King has gone so fucking downhill. White Castle sucks anymore, to be honest with you. And I know a lot of people are going to argue with me about that. I had those motherfucking burgers back in early 80s. It sucks because they were real good back in the day. McDonald's has dumbed their shit down. Yeah, they come back and they're saying they're using like, fresh meat and all that shit. Nope. Not for most of it.
I like that. Popeyes is my my go-to.
Wendy's is okay depending on which store you go to.
Yeah,
If you go to the wrong Wendy's
Yep,
and they just don't
True.
give a fuck, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
The Wendy's on Division near my house is terrible.
They're awful. The
We're-
one in Logan Square is not that much better. I do, however, say the one over on Ashland's not too bad.
when Clybourne over there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Ashland and like
Yeah, that was like one of the first fancy Wendy's too. They like the first one's like the fireplace and all that shit.
Yeah.
fireplace.
You know,
Trying to make you feel at home.
they got rid of like the sunroom like concept and they put these like Wendy's that had like fireplaces in them.
And then they got like a big TV up there that's whatever.
I had Arby's a couple weeks ago. I was downtown and I found like the only Arby's in downtown Chicago and I had lunch there. It was actually pretty good.
Really?
It had the classic roast beef and some curly fries.
I went to a really terrible Arby's out in Palatine. I almost threw up from it.
What did you have? Cheddar, beef and cheddar.
We had some sliders thing going on. I got like 3 or 4 different sliders, and they all sucked. And I tell you what, that King Hawaiian is a motherfucker, though. I love that shit. They do have some things that are really good, but fuck, man. I mean, when it comes to the stuff they use for the meat, what it is liquefied meat that's put in a mold and back, and then they fucking cook it up, and then they slice it off. So it's not even fucking real, And it's just like fuck. And then now I know why that rubbery texture is in there, But
tastes good though.
It tastes good.
That's where the horse.
Man, I've seen gyro meat made at when I was working in insurance. I mean, I was in Grecian Delight in their facility that's out in like Elk Grove Village. And the best thing about that was they gave me 2 bags of warm pita bread fresh off the presses.
Wow.
And I sort of got I ate one whole bag on the way home. The other thing was I saw how they made gyro meat, and I probably haven't had a gyro. I mean,
like gel and gelatinous.
Yeah, it's almost like a gel, and then they freeze it into that cone, and then they put it on the spit and start cooking the inside of it. And
I don't know if Wrigley'sville Dog is still there across from.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
I like how the guy didn't even know where he was. He thought he was in Wrigley'sville, but my store was right next to Wrigley'sville.
Oh, right.
And in
right from Metro, yeah.
And in '95, when the power went out for I don't know a couple days, right? There was no power.
Right.
My wife her dad is from Greece, and she said, "Do not eat at that Wrigleyville Dog, for at least a month because that guy's Greek. He's not gonna throw any of that away." So I didn't. I eat there for like 2 months afterwards,
Yeah, that place is.
He's going, "What? There's no problem. What? Come on. It's still cold. See, feel it. Feel.
That's not dirt. Whew, see, it blows right off. Every Greek restaurant I've ever been to, it's like the menu is like War and Peace. They make everything there.
Yeah.
You want spaghetti, you can have it. You want a patty melt, you can have it.
Ribs.
You want beef stroganoff, you can have it. I mean, it's
if you ask for something that wasn't on the menu, they probably, yeah, sure.
Yeah, no problem. We've got it around here somewhere.
It's not like Belushi's place where they only serve cheeseburger.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's Billy Goat Tavern.
The Olympia Grill. Sorry, last.
Like 2 eggs over easy with sausage, right?
Like, cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. I just got up. I don't want to. It's too early for a cheeseburger. It's like too early for cheeseburger. Look at cheeseburger.
So I have to ask you, Paul. Since the draft, what do you think the best deal you've gotten was, and the worst deal you've gotten? Like, I mean, in the draft, as far as getting somebody, and
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think people I protected. What was that pitcher I had? My IL. I don't know. Roster pulled. I can't remember. Seattle pitcher. He got hurt the first game of the season. Tommy John. The fuck's his name? Can't remember.
Hold on.
Robbie
I
Ray.
know if he got hurt
Robbie
at the beginning
Ray,
of this.
right?
Robbie Ray.
Oh yeah.
I predicted him for quite a bit of money, I think.
And that one bitch in the ass.
Yeah.
What do you think the best
I got rid of
was?
what's that?
What do you think the best move you made was?
Well, I got that. What's the Vinny? What's his last name from Kansas City? I thought that was a good move.
Oh, Pasquantino.
Barbarino?
Vinny Barbarino, yeah.
Pasquantino, and then he got
Pasquantino.
hurt. Yeah.
But he's out for the season, so.
Yeah. I liked him
Picked
too.
up I think we talked about this last time. I picked up the Mountcastle off of
Oh, that was
Waivers.
me.
And I'm just I love having him. He's a fucking great guy for free.
Oh my God. I've seen his name on the ticker like with great things that he's been doing. I've seen it like 12, 15 times since I did that. I'm like,
I'm keeping him. I'm not dropping it because I have Abreu's out.
yeah.
And
He
he
was
was
out
a
with
bad
vertigo.
pick, too. He was having a terrible year too.
Who?
Jose Abreu. It just wasn't.
He didn't come on. He's like, is he back?
No, he didn't hit for power this year.
Yeah. I thought once he hit his first one, and I know he hit a few after that. I thought, oh, okay, he'll have a better second.
Now he's on the IL.
Well, guess how many points I have today so far?
3.
1. Yeah, I mean, and I've got like 6 players. I mean, there's 2 games that are already done, and that's 4 of my players. So I don't know, man. I mean, I'm probably gonna have like single-digit points today.
Mountcastle. I dropped him, and I poached him, so I liked him. I was happy to poach him. I think it was $12. Yeah. I poached him from DC before before we knew he wasn't going to come to the auction. Yeah. And he had vertigo, which I've had a couple of times, so I was kind of related to my player. And so I knew it wasn't a physical injury. Like once you're on vertigo, you could be without it for 10 years. It's just right. But the reason I dropped him, I'm just making excuses here, but the reason I dropped him is because they used O'Hearn at first, and then when he first came back, he was platooning, and I was like, screw this, I can't have a platoon player. But it's pretty much as soon as I dropped him and you picked him up, he wasn't platooning anymore. Right. Even before he did well, I knew I'd made a mistake, and then the 2 months that have happened since then, approximately 2 months, have only compounded things. Now I'm having to see like Ryan Mountcastle since Lou St. John dropped him is hitting 4. So, yeah, so that one got away. Happens every year. All right. Anthony Santander last year, I dropped him. He's like one of those, like you drop him and then before even the waiver period expires, you're like, shit. And then I tried to get him back, and Chris got him. So Chris still has him too. So.
That's why I give guys like a little bit of time before I decide to move on from them or drop them and stuff like that. Because man, I hate kicking myself in the ass later.
Springer doing this year. I haven't followed. First took him off my roster.
Oh, he hasn't been good. I don't think he's been good at all.
I was kind of kicking myself early for not protecting him.
Who?
George Springer.
All right, so here's George.
I had him poach for my roster. But,
he was at 50 or something, wasn't he?
He was in the 40s or something like that.
He's hurt so often, man. Yeah.
All right, well, I am going to share the screen, and we're going to see what George Springer has to offer here. He's only batting .259, 15 home runs, 121 hits. He's on base percentage is .327, OPS of .727. That's pretty weak. 16 stolen bases.
He's doing better like the past couple months than he was at first, right? Yeah. I was just talking about Santander, and it wasn't that I dropped Santander because he was doing bad. It was almost even worse. I dropped Santander because I wanted Robbie Grossman more. So, that point in the season when you look back on different points in the season, you're like, why would I want Robbie Grossman more than Anthony Santander?
Well, here's a tell. I mean, he's at 93 strikeouts for the season already, and he's at 467 at bats. So he's almost striking out around a 20% clip. The year before, he did the same thing, but that was at 513 at bats. So he's striking out a little bit more this year. His on-base percentage is a little weaker. He's down about 8 points in batting average, but I don't know. It's kind of in his wheel zone here. I mean, plugging way down.
How old
And
is he now?
this is like one of the worst. Oh, this is the worst OPS he's put up in his
Yeah.
career. So Paul, I think you dodged one there. If you didn't like him last year, you probably would have really hated him this year after 2 years in a row of that shit.
Yeah.
But you kind of would think that this year you could maybe throw out. He's not that old, right? He's still pretty young, isn't he?
Yeah, but you got to look at it too. Only one time in his career did he play 162 games. I know a lot of people aren't going to play 162 games, but at least play 155. Otherwise, you're getting hurt all the time. 102 here, 140, 140, 122, 51, 78, 133, 118 so far this season. But I mean, yeah. How many games are left?
40, something like that.
Yeah.
I've looked at.
I don't think you made the worst mistake in the world on that one. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of guys that have played every game. Especially in the Braves, but other guys too. Even Lindor, he recently missed a couple of games. But somebody said something about somebody last week talked about Moncada. Sean was complaining about Moncada, and I think you might have said something about the Caribbean players that because he was talking about Moncada missing a game if he had a hang or something like that.
Oh yeah, I just said they're soft. They're soft players. The littlest thing that happens to them, and all of a sudden I can't play.
But Lindor, he's from Puerto Rico, so I guess that's not. Is that really Caribbean? That's more Atlantic Ocean, but.
Puerto Rico's in the Caribbean,
Lindor broke his finger in a hotel door, and I don't even know if he missed a game. He might have missed one game. This was last season, and then this year, I think his daughter was born in the morning, and I think he played the night game. But Lindor, he's present. I'm liking him more than I did before because he's doing well, and I have to. You have to count on if a guy's playing 160 games a year, that you should probably like that guy, right? I mean, because he doesn't have to do that.
Well, I think by experience looking at it, I think it's more the the Dominican side of it and the Cuban side of it that's that I would say would be kind of the malingerers, the ones that don't live up to their contracts after they sign them.
Dominican and where?
Cuban. I mean,
Bray didn't miss a bunch of times.
Well, there's some guys that are fucking great. There's a couple guys that are great, but then you got your Puigs. You got what's that dude that was on the A's and then went to the Mets and sat there? I think his younger brother is in the White Sox farm system.
Oh, Cespedes.
Yeah.
No.
Like Moncada.
Cespedes.
Eloy Jimenez.
That COVID year, that was hilarious. Cespedes, he didn't go to the front office and say, "Look, he just left. He went AWOL. They didn't know where he was."
Who was that other guy for Boston that just disappeared? He was stuck down in the minors and then he was gone.
I don't remember.
They had a really big, to do about him, and then he was up one year and then he went back down in the minors because he couldn't hit, and then it was over with.
Catcher, maybe?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. I think it was an outfielder or third baseman, maybe.
I can't think.
But he was, he was on Boston's payroll for quite a bit of money and didn't put nothing into it.
I still don't know what happened, but in 2022, Eduardo Rodriguez went AWOL from the Tigers. They didn't know where he was. There was no contact. It was some sort of family issue. That's what they've said. But I've never really heard exactly what it was. In what case would you, getting paid? He's getting paid I don't know, $6 million a year. It might be more than that even.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you think that's worth a phone call? Jesus.
Reminds me of Dennis Rodman when he played for the Bulls.
Oh yeah, he disappeared.
Disappeared in the middle of the finals.
Usually they found him in
a pro wrestling match in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Or he's in Ibiza partying on an island.
He's emceeing a pro wrestling match. It was off day.
One of my friends that tended bar at Wrigley Little Tap, he had a job at another bar, and I don't remember what the other place was. but Rodman would come in there and just order a bottle, and just have the bottle, with him the whole time. And then when he left, he just tipped $100. This is back 25 over 25 years ago, so that's pretty good tip.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Drink the whole
Actually,
bottle.
when I was working at the Dome Room years ago, him and Carmen Electric came into the club and did between me and the DJ. I was doing lights, he was doing music, and then they just sat there for like half an hour, 20 minutes, and didn't say two shit words to us, and we didn't say two to them, and they just like they thought maybe there was bottle service back there, and it was a small DJ booth though. I don't know why. Maybe they just wanted to see it from our perspective.
Right, yeah.
What place was it?
Dome Room.
Morse.
He was tiny. I mean, like 4'11" tiny.
Is that on Morse and Rogers Park?
No, it was basically part of Excalibur.
Oh, okay. Oh,
This was like from like 91, 92 through 98. So it turned into Vision, and it turned into Aura, but we used to get a lot of people that would walk through. I mean, Matt Dillon came through, of all things. It was nuts.
Oh, wow.
We had the band Korn there. Moby was there. Robert Smith of The Cure. We had Prince come through. I mean, it was a lot of different than the other bars. Some of the other bars were just like top 40 poppy shit, and we were all like the underground kind of cool, evil shit in a lot of ways. But yeah, a lot of fun.
So, Paul, you got in the league through Lemmings, of course, right? With
Yeah.
you and Chris. But how did you start going to Lemmings? Did you live right near there?
No, I was the first time I went there was in '96, like February. I wasn't even living in the city. I was visiting some friends who lived in Wicker Park. They said, "Yeah, we got this new bar we're going to. This place called Lemmings up the street." And I went there. I recognized Steve Kopka, who I went to college with, as one of the owners.
Wow.
But back then, he was just the manager of Lemmings. And he had previously worked at Sheffield's with some other guys, this guy Oliver, a few other guys, and they said they all moved over to this place, Lemmings. So that was, and then I moved to the neighborhood, but like 6 months later, that was it.
So you've known like Larkin for like almost like 27 years.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you've known him longer than you have.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I knew Chris back then, and a lot of those guys worked at the Silver Cloud. Like Sung worked at Silver Cloud. Yeah, there's
we used to go there. Used to get like was it a food place, right?
Yeah. It was right
really
there.
close to Lemmings.
It was a cool bar. Yeah, it was a cool bar.
It was like home food. It was like you
good
get
breakfast. They really good like pancakes and stuff like that.
Yeah. We used to go there. Yeah. I mean, from Forest Park, we used to go there.
Yeah, they made some
all the way down there.
good drinks too. I don't know why anything can't stay in that building. It's a beautiful bar. I don't know. That tricycle place I was there recently, it was out of business already.
Same owner. It's just his sweat equity changed. So it's
yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, how much does Rocky have to do with the menu and stuff like that? I know he's kind of got his name on the license and he owns the building. And I think they went through a little rocky patch here with some like shit that was written up by the city and they had to shut down for a little bit. This tricycle.
Yeah, they had orange stickers all over there.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I walked by there, it was obviously at least 5 years ago, but I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah.
I used to walk up.
Remember the old cans?
Cans. I remember cans, yeah.
They used to have that party every year where they'd have like some like forgotten rapper.
Like Tone Loc or something, yeah.
Tone Loc. I think they had Naughty by Nature one year. I think Vanilla Ice did it.
Right. Cans.
But it was nostalgia. Sir Mix-a-Lot, I think, was one of them. I don't know. Who was your favorite rapper from back in the early 90s?
Well, I had LL Cool J's first couple of things.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
that's more 80s, right? Late 80s, I guess. I saw Run DMC.
It could be 80s too, like 80s, early 90s, that era between 85 and 95 was an awesome era.
I saw Run DMC in Boston in '85, and it was probably the worst show I've ever been to. I mean, I think they were on contract to play like exactly 30, at least 35 minutes, and that's what they did. They and they played this place called the Spit, which is a huge, like one level, place you've been in, and there actually weren't. It wasn't packed or anything. And maybe they just hated the fact that it wasn't a packed show. But I remember thinking, like, I mean, I still liked him. I didn't hate him for it, but it was a terrible show. It's like my friends said that Chuck Berry was like that. Chuck Berry would find out exactly how long he had to play, and that's what he did. He played exactly that amount of time, and then he was gone.
22 minutes.
So, but I liked LL and Fat Boys.
Yeah.
And Houdini. I loved Houdini. And then right after,
You're talking like the early. You're talking like early 80s.
Nucleus. What's that? Jam
on it.
But, I don't know. Once the early 90s happened,
you're talking the Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo era.
I was in the breakdancing. I was really into.
Every kid was at that point, and then they realized this is a lot harder, and I'm tired of doing this, and I'm done. Yeah. But some kids went on to be really fucking good. It's just like most kids phased out of that shit.
I think I was in the top 1% of suburban white people that had heard rap, because I went to a boarding school, and my roommate was black, and he played me. What is it? Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight.
Uh-huh.
So this was fall of '79. Okay. This is fall.
What were you 79. What were you, a senior?
No, I was a freshman. So, but
I don't know. I think my big favorites were Eric B. and Rakim. I like Big Daddy Kane a lot, and Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, I like that.
And yeah, I like Leaders of the New School because they had Buster Rhymes. House of Pain kicked ass a little bit. They had a good album. Beastie Boys, fuck. Out their whole career.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, after like Tone Loc, after that, sometime in the early '90s, I just like dropped out of it. I just I didn't keep up with anything.
Oh, I've got something. Let me get my phone. Weird facts about baseball. I saw this. I've already debunked one of them though, and I'll tell you which one it is when I get to it here. Not to myself. All right. Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young or an MVP award.
All right.
Is that true or false?
True.
I'd be surprised if he hadn't won a Cy Young, but it's certainly possible. He was never Mr. ERA or anything.
It is true. He never won a Cy Young award and never won an MVP. Here's an interesting fact. Brothers BJ and Justin Upton both hit their 99th career home runs on the same day, July 20th, 2012.
I'm going to say it's false. It was actually July 19th, 2012. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, that was actually true. I looked that one up.
Yeah, that
Cy Young
probably be true. It's very specific.
Cy Young threw 24 consecutive hitless innings. That is a true fact.
Now, did he ever win a Cy Young?
I think they made the award after him. The amount of home runs that Josh Gibson in the Negro League hit was 982. And I tell you what, he was going against some damn good pitchers as well. 982 all-time home runs for Josh Gibson. Here's the one I debunked. It's Clay Bellinger, father of Cody Bellinger, won the World Series every year of his career. That is false. He only won it twice, but he was in the league for 2.5 years. He started a fourth year, but it didn't last very long. Let me see. Let me bring him up real quick. And if that was the case, I mean, yeah, you'd have to have a really fucking short year and be lucky to be on a good team. But I mean, I had to look at this one because it's like, okay, how long was he in the fucking major leagues? Was he in 5 years and then won it with 3 different teams? So basically, he was in 1999, played 32 games, 98 games in 2000, 88 in 2001, and just 2 with the Anaheim Angels in 2002. So
they won
maybe
it,
they
yeah.
just disqualify that year, but still, he's only got 2 World Series rings in the 3 years he was there. So what they're doing is basically here
No, the
disqualifying his
02
first
Angels
year
won
and
the World Series.
disqualifying his last year.
The Angels won the World Series in 02.
Did they?
Yeah. They beat the Giants. Remember the Rally Monkeys and how the Giants blew it?
All right, so they say he won the World Series every year of his career.
I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just
Maybe
saying
he was in the World Series every year of his career, or his team went to the World Series every year of his career. But there's 2 times World Series. He's only been in the World Series twice. So
that's wrong right there.
Yeah, so it's wrong. Boo. I think
But
somebody
the
called
02
him out on
season
that.
does not disqualify him.
Here's one. Maddox faced 20,421 batters during his career, and only 310 of those batters saw a 3-0 count. And 177 of those were intentional walks. So if he's not doing it on purpose, I mean, that's like 133 guys. That's crazy. All right. And this fact, a player could start at the beginning of this season and play every single game through 2038 and still be 40 games shy of Cal Ripken's consecutive games played record.
2048?
2038.
38, okay.
So that's 15 years playing every game 15 years straight, and he still wouldn't get he'd still be 40 games shy. That's like not missing a game for almost 16 years. Crazy.
He had 500 and something games in a row where he didn't even miss an inning. Not even like the 9th inning or some extra inning game or whatever.
Nah, he was the most solid dude. Lefty Grove was traded for a fence.
Traded for a what?
A fence.
A fence. A home run fence, or just a out of
Maybe.
the ground?
Maybe they needed a fence in their ballpark, and the guy said, "Okay, we'll give you lefty, but you got to put a fucking outfield fence in for us." That's probably what it was. I mean, back in those days, some of these guys didn't have a pot to piss in, as far as like some of the owners. And then about Doc Ellis claims he threw a no-hitter while under the influence of LSD. Everybody knows that.
True.
Bobby Richardson won the World Series MVP for a losing team. That was the Yankees.
1960?
Yeah. Didn't Bobby Richardson die at a young age? Hold on one second. Thought I heard something about this. Looks like he's still alive. Nah, different guy then. I was thinking of Thurman
Bobby
Munson.
Thompson.
He's still alive. How old is he? 90?
Well, yeah, he was born in 35, so he's 88.
Oh.
And he lives in South Carolina, so he's still alive. He only played for like 11 years though. And he was an all-star most of those years. He retired at 30 years old. He started at 19. He was in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-time all-star, 5-time Gold Glove, 3-time World Series champ,
Wow.
World Series MVP. And he had an 8.1 WAR throughout his career. I mean, it's not great, but his on-base percentage kind of sucked. It was .299.
What position?
He was a second baseman.
Yeah.
He was a 5'9", 170 pounds. He a little fucker.
Yeah. Like Nelly Fox or something.
Yeah.
Did he have a
Didn't really
bad
steal a
back
home
or
run.
something?
I
Why
don't
did he
know.
retire so young?
Don't know. He batted 266. You'd think he probably may have let off.
He's still
But-
alive, so he was probably healthy.
He was in 1962, he had 209 hits. He came up runner-up as the MVP of the league. He was a Gold Glove that year and All-Star.
He played in the right era for him.
He had 5 Gold Gloves in a row.
They'd be looking at his OPS and his on base and be like,
Right. His OPS is shit.
he's a batting average hits guy and reputation as a good fielder. So that was a good era for him.
Yeah. But if he would have played 10 more years, he might have gotten 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, it's crazy. Here's one. Chris Davis had the same batting average in 4 straight seasons.
That's the KH Davis.
That is the K. Yep.
Really? Exact same.
247.
Let me share the screen
247
here.
every year.
Yeah, you're pretty much right on that. Look at these years right here. So
Wow.
2015 through 2018. And he's not far off at anything. He was just steady. 40s home runs. He had 27 that year because he had played 30 games less, but steady numbers. 151, 153, 150.
Average 242.
But look at the strikeouts.
5 points less than this.
Look at the fucking strikeouts of this guy.
I'm predicting that somebody in 2019 in the beer league either got him in the auction or retained him for a whole lot more money than they wished that they got him for.
Oh yeah. He's out of the league now. I don't even know where the fuck he's at. Hold on a second. Let's see if we go down to where he moved to. He might just be like kind of retired by the league. He was granted free agency in 2021 and never re-signed with another major league team. I wonder if he's playing in Japan. Or if he just said, you know what? I've made $67 million. I'm going to just kick back and sit on a beach in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hopefully Oahu and not Maui. Crazy. All right. Ken Ash won a game on only one pitch.
Okay.
Oh, my guess is he came in the 9th inning. Guy had like a 3-2 count. Pitcher's arm got hurt. They brought this guy in. He struck him out in one pitch. And then his team went.
He could have just faced a batter, gotten to pop out.
There's a pitcher that came in through no pitches and got the win. He picked a guy up at first base.
Oh, really? Who was that?
I don't know. It was like a Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'm not sure if it's even true, to be honest with you. But it
didn't say he struck the guy out, though, right? I mean,
Ripley's Believe It or Not is not a real. That's like, if you ever go to one of those, man, it's a lot of hokey shit.
But Jeff, it just said he made one pitch, right? So he could have gotten the guy to ground out, pop up, whatever. It didn't have to be a 3-2.
Yeah. You're right. I just threw a scenario out there. Yeah, it could be easy. This is easy. But he threw one pitch and got the win. And maybe it was like, okay, 9th inning, one guy left. He gets him to ground out. It's a tie game, or they're down by 1, and then they're the home team, and they come up and hit a 2-run dinger, and now that guy's the winner in one pitch. It's plausible.
Yeah, maybe it was a lefty-lefty. Maybe he was a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, could be.
So, Paul, we never got to your favorite rap.
I wasn't a rap fan.
Who's your favorite player from the 70s? Or like a guy you like to emulate?
Chet Lemon was fine. I liked him, like Tony Bernazard.
Oh yeah, I remember Tony Bernazard.
Who's the
second baseman?
Chet Lemon.
Oh, Chet Lemon.
He's for the White Sox. Like Eric Soderholm a lot. Trying to think.
I see Ron Kittle every year.
Yeah, Julio Cruz, that whole '83 White Sox team.
Oh.
Rudy Law, I liked a lot.
Rudy Law, Vance Law.
Vance Law was terrible.
Richie Zisk.
Tony Richie exists. I like Oscar Gamble a lot.
Oh yeah, Greg Luzinski.
Ron Bloomberg is another guy.
I don't remember Bloomberg so much.
Ken
Jim
Kranek.
Jim
Yeah.
Spencer.
Jim Spencer, right? Ralph Garr.
I went to a game.
Ed Bosley. Yeah.
It was my first baseball game I ever went to was a White Sox game. Actually, might have been my second. First time I went to a White Sox game. My friend's dad took me along. He had like 4 tickets or something to go to the White Sox, and it's kind of easier to get to. And Jim Spencer hit 2 home runs in that game. They were playing the Seattle Mariners,
Right.
and the manager was Jim Busby.
What year was that?
Oh God, that had to have been 80, 79, 80.
Just do that 20 questions game.
You want to do the 20 questions game?
I'm gonna be signing up here soon. I gotta.
I was trying.
He's got a BLT sub to make real quick.
I was trying to squeeze it.
I gotta make a sandwich really quick. I hate making sandwiches.
I mean, quick.
You got to rock that jacket at the auction, man.
No, it's behind a little case here. I can't take it out.
Man, you got to take
that thing is frozen in carbonite right now.
Yeah.
You got to take it out of there, and every time you go to Lemmings, man, I think you should put that on.
I do say you get a nicer frame for it, and then sign the back of it in like a white kind of like Sharpie.
Why?
Like Paul Matija. It'll help the resale once you die. Dane will get more money.
Resale.
Sign it, Seth Curry.
Yeah, right.
What's his name?
Jared Vogel.
Jared Vogel.
This dog's up my ass. I'll be right back. I need to refresh my ice too.
So when's your football draft?
Oh, I got 2 on the same day. It's that Tuesday before the game start. Whatever that. Thursday.
You mean Jeff says?
Yeah, Jeff's that league and the other league I'm in. They're both at the exact same time on the exact same day. This is the problem last year too. So it's not that hard. Football's easy. It's just,
yeah. I thought Tuesday that was so late, but to have both leagues doing it on Tuesday, it's hardcore. That's like last minute. That's
right.
Doing our little one on Monday. You're not in that league, right? I can't remember.
No. I'm in 2 leagues already.
Yeah, I think it's Steiger, Sean, Steiger, and Norm are in that one.
They all do you still do a no money basketball league?
No money, no bucks basketball. Do the same thing with hockey too. The Shaved Ice Fantasy Hockey League. That's a pretty simple one. It's just a point for a goal, half for an assist, half for a short-handed point. Half a point for a short-handed point, and then goalies are every 10 saves minus half a point for each goal allowed. That's it.
How often do you put your line? Is it weekly? Is it?
We don't. It's just a year-long points.
Oh, okay.
No win-loss or anything like that. So, just something to do until baseball rolls around, and once the end of the year starts coming, I kind of, it's kind of neglected,
right?
Because but it's nice to have it around in like January and February when football's done, and done in a fantasy sense.
Wow.
Oh, you have your party last week, or
we did? Yeah, we had a big party for our 20 years in the house here. So,
any beer leaguers?
Jeff was there. Yeah, I had Larkin. He didn't show up. So,
DC, did DC come?
Yeah, DC was there. Yeah, so Dave.
How's he doing? He's physically good?
Yeah, he's on the mend. Yeah, he still can't really. He should be drinking, but he had a couple. So.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to wait till September. Somebody said.
Right. Yeah. It's an arbitrary September date order.
Yeah. So Jeff says it doesn't seem like he's going to come back to the league.
Yeah, I don't think so. It didn't sound like it. Yeah. So we gotta expand.
Yeah, Jeff's got a couple of guys.
Oh.
We'll definitely go to 12. Jeff was talking about like 13, but I was thinking like, no, let me just do one thing at a time. Right?
Yeah,
We'll just go to 12.
back to 12. Yeah.
13 could get a little crowded. I don't know when you're trying to pick up like a backup catcher or something, you know.
Yeah, other league I'm in, we have 16 teams since 28 man roster, 16 teams. So it's
Do you start two catchers?
no, it's well, you usually keep two catchers, yeah, in your team. This is
But on the starting roster or no?
yeah, you start one.
Okay, yeah, that makes a big difference. Yeah.
So some people just keep one catcher. They always go down with injury, so it's it's keeping the second one around. But, oh. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else I could. I like to ask people like that stuff I don't know. You know, I've known you for 15 years, and I really didn't. You know, like I don't really think about like why did Paul suddenly appear? You know, it makes sense. It's through Chris, but then I was thinking, well,
Right.
how'd you start going to Lemmings? You know, so.
Yeah, it was just a bar. I was looking for a regular bar. So.
I think Lemmings is a good bar to meet other people because probably everybody has one thing in common. Like they don't really want to. They just want to be a little bit off, a little away from the fray.
Right.
You know, like you go, especially on a weekend night, you go.
I liked it because they had sports time, but it wasn't a sports bar. That's I hate sports bars. We can't.
Like no baseball bats and.
Yeah. So you'll go there. Matt, McGuire was always bartending on the weekend. I'd go there and watch baseball games. Spend the whole afternoon there. Spend like $10 to get nice buzz on it.
It does, it fits us, like a bar like that.
Yeah.
It's not like, the Champs sports bar or something.
Right.
But it's also like a bar that has the game on. Like, you don't want to go to a place that's so
yeah.
They wouldn't have a.
But then they're also playing music at the same time, so you're not. So it's not like a sports bar where they have like piped in music and all that shit.
I'll tell you what. DraftKings Lounge right off the Wrigley Field now. It used to be the Captain Morgan's Club.
Right.
Holy shit, that's cool, man. I mean, just to go there and watch some fantasy, but they've got like these huge screens all the way around the damn thing, and it's really cool.
I should go to Wrigley. I can't believe I haven't been back to the Wrigley neighborhood since
the renovation.
2000.
It's nice there now.
2006, maybe. That's when I moved. But I mean, the last time I was there, Wrigleyville Tap wasn't Wrigleyville Tap anymore. It was Fuel, I think it was called.
Right. Oh yeah, for a little bit. Now it's like full shilling.
And like Yak.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is Yaxie's still there?
Yaxie's was still there.
Yaxie's is still there.
Oh, it is. Okay.
You got Trace Output.
Then there was like a Raw bar right next to Wrigleyville Tap.
Yeah, I think that's
Raw bar. Yeah.
That's not there anymore.
I just like to eat there before.
Ginger Man, is that still there?
It's called G-Men Tavern.
G-Men Tavern.
Yeah,
that's a cool bar though. That's a
real cool bar
for that area.
I used to live right across from Ginger Man, sort of like. My store was right next to Wrigley'sville, dog.
Dude, I've been in your store way before I even knew you. This was going back like the early 90s, mid 90s. It's like, oh, I'm just waiting for, me being into like baseball stuff and all that shit, waiting on a concert across the street. Of course, I'm going to come over there and check out what you got. And I did it several times, It's just I was younger, didn't know who you were, I mean, I don't even know if I even paid attention who was behind you. Might have been there.
I'm sure
you were open kind of late too, weren't you?
If there was a game, I was.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a game, I think I was open to like 7.
Right. But no, man, I've been in your place before.
Never
bought anything because I had no money at the time.
Didn't Sung have a comic book store in Wrigleyville too? Like on
I don't know if he had it in Wrigleyville or if it was in like on Western or I can't remember where he had it.
Yeah.
But he did have one because he had a lot of extra comics left over from that store and didn't really get rid of them until like, maybe the last 10 years.
The last season that I had that store, I only had for 94 to 96, maybe early 97. I was really cutting corners. Like I would be at the Wrigleyville Tap with my phone. It wasn't a cell phone. It was one of those, cordless phones. And I would just sit, drink a beer, and I'd sit by the window, and I could see if anybody would walk in the store. And I'd like run across the street if somebody walked in the store, So,
Oh, Jesus.
bad. But that's when I knew I wasn't going to be around after that season. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's not hard. Well, I mean when the games are going on and stuff like that, yeah, that's kind of cool and everything. But when the baseball's shit,
Yeah,
in the winter time, I mean, unless you have like a real, and that's before the internet. If you got a good internet presence and you can get people, coming over.
yeah, it was right when I was starting. Like, that's when I first heard about the internet. Was like when I had that store, But my rent was only like $800 a month, which I thought wasn't bad. And I had this stat service. I used to advertise in those, fantasy baseball magazines, fantasy football index, those kind of things. So you would think, like, I looked at it like the stat service paid the rent, so I should have been able to make it work, but it still wasn't. It still didn't work, So if you came in the store, there was a 99.9% chance that it was me there because I couldn't afford anything. So that's when it started to be a bummer. Like that's when Diane and I, before we got engaged, we broke up, and it was when I had that store, because it was just like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go away. Everybody's going camping. I was like, I can't. The Reds are in town. All this stuff. Like it just it got to be a bummer.
Yeah. Quality of life suffered.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing about opening a business and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's sign off here. I gotta go to bed.
Well,
yeah,
you're gonna
for
be up
meeting
at what, like
morning.
4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I got about 4. I gotta
before you go, Paul, I was gonna talk about my days working on radio in Fresno, California, a little 500-watt station. No, I'm just kidding.
Paul, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And sorry, Larkin wasn't around.
See Larkin, say hi to him if he's gonna join later.
Well, the next time we see like this, it'll be after the season and probably after the World Series.
We have the date. The draft is auctioned when?
March 9th.
March. Oh, it's early. That's right.
It's early.
Good.
Because of the stupid Korea games,
Right. All right, guys.
And then St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Day is the week before.
Right.
Can't do that.
Well, thanks for coming on with us, Paul.
Take care.
And I'll see you around very soon.
Yeah. I'll probably see you Friday, Jeff. See you.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to share the screen here for just a second.
So is Mr. Larkin still planning to come?
I don't know. I probably doubt it. All right.
Well, he could come on next week. We might have as many as 4 people on with us next week.
Yeah, that's fine. This is starting to come to an end anyway, so the more the merrier. All right. There we go. There's our guys right there, top hitting. So you got Acuna, Ohtani, Freeman. God, Freeman, he's just solid, man. Olsen with 43 home runs this year.
Hey, use Phil's suggestion. Do the past 30 days.
Yeah, once I go through this real quick, I'll get to do last 30 days. But Julio Rodriguez jumped up to 8.
Yeah, I think he's number 1 over the past 30 days now.
Oh yeah, Kyle Tucker's up there at 7. Simeon at 6. Mookie Betts 5. Soto cracked the top 10 finally. Then I got 3 in a row here. Check this out. Soto is 9. Adolis Garcia is 10, and Bobby Witt Jr. moved his way up into 11th. Christian Yelich, man, I swear to God, I still kick myself in the ass thinking nobody's got to take Christian Yelich at $40-something.
45 or something.
And I forgot that Dave Steiger was in the league.
He's worth it. Yeah.
He's worth it now. He wasn't worth it the last fucking 3 years.
Yeah.
Austin Riley, 13. He's got 29 home runs.
He started off pretty slow too, so he's really been coming on, huh?
Corbin Carroll dropping a little bit. He's down to 14. I know he was like up in like what, the top 5?
Yeah.
Christian Walker, he's about the same, 15. Lindor, Albies at 17. We'll just do the top 25 here. Your Alonso is at 18. I tell you, he was at 50 something when I gave him to you.
Wow.
And he's now at 18. Lane Thomas, what a year for him. Luis Robert, 20. Bregman, Devers at 22. Hey, I got 5 guys in the top 25. Look at that.
You know,
Jose Ramirez.
Alonso's been hitting great. I'm not complaining, but he's still just not the brightest guy out there, right? There was a play where
Oh,
they had the
Mason
guy.
Wynn. You talking about Mason Wynn's first hit?
No, that wasn't his fault. No, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a play. They picked a guy off first. Pete threw down to second, and then he got the ball back. The runner's coming back to first, and he goes out of the baseline. So all Pete has to do is like, there's 2 outs by the way, and there's a runner on third at the time. All Pete has to do is like attempt to tag him. He's clearly going to be called out of the baseline, but Pete pulls up short instead of tagging him, throws home because the runner from third came home, throws the ball away, and it could have been disaster. But they called the runner out of the baseline. But the rule is you have to make an attempt to tag him in order for him to be out of the baseline. And Pete didn't do that. He like pulled up short and then does this high risk throw to the plate, which is a high throw. It could have been disastrous, but the umpires made the wrong call and bailed him out. But you just have to know that about Pete. He is just not the smartest guy out there, and hopefully he'll get smarter as he gets older. But his instincts are not good. He's not a good instinctive player out there, at least defensively.
Yeah. But Nathaniel O, Devers, let's put it this way. If I did not trade you Alonso for Diaz and some other players, which actually, has been helping me, so that's fine. I'd have 6 in the top 25 and still be in 7th place.
You want him back?
No. I think you deserve them.
I traded for Alonso and Goldschmidt, and I think it's funny that I'm really not 100% sure that I'm going to keep those guys. So that would look really dumb if I trade for them and then don't even retain them. I think I'm more likely to retain Alonso than Goldschmidt, but he's at 55. That's probably close to what I would think that he would go for. So it's not much of a gain either way.
Look at the devaluation of pitching. How many years before did we have a pitcher sit in the top number 1 or top 3? And now the first pitcher is 27.
Yeah.
It is a hitter's league now. So Zach Gallen, Garrett Cole, Logan Webb, and I got Justin Steele. So I got 2 of the top 4 there. Oh, I got another one here. Strider, Kirby, Snell. So I got set up nicely here. All right. Keep going, boys. Need to get 5th place. Luis Castillo having a good year. Got himself 9 wins. Look at it. Like the amount of wins too at this time of the year. There ain't going to be a 20-game winner this year. They're just not. And Steele and Strider are 1 and 2 right there with 14 each. So Zach Gallen's got 13. Taijuan Walker with 13. Holy shit! Who would have thought? Zach Eflin 13. Gibson 12. I actually dropped Gibson. Gibson was so up and down. I was just like, oh, I'm tired of him.
I was bragging a few weeks ago on the podcast about how every time I put Gibson in, he does well. Well, he burned me. I put him in, he did terrible. And then I dropped him, and I think he did well. So it was luck all along, obviously.
All right, let's go back to hitting and do the 30-day thing. All right, can you still see this?
Yeah.
Julio Rodriguez in the last 30 days, number one
Yeah.
overall. Bobby Witt, number 2. And Alonso, number 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cunha.
13 home runs in the last month. You're welcome. Jesus. Fuck me.
He hit one tonight.
He's hitting them every night, it seems like every other night. Then you got your
Oh, they
Acuna,
won.
Olsen, Betts, Freeman.
I just
And
noticed
then
the Mets won 10-4. Nice.
Otani's still doing pretty well. Cody Bellinger, what a fucking month. He has been on fire. 27 RBIs. Simeon, Riley, Tucker, Ha-Seong Kim. He's been good this year. 5 home runs for that guy. He's not very big. Got a little pop in his back.
There's Mountcastle. There's the guy I dropped.
Ryan Reynolds makes it in the top 25 for the last 30 days. Mountcastle's a newbie. Meneses. Yeah, Brian Reynolds, 9 home runs.
I don't even know if I noticed that.
Altuve, Lindor, Albies, and then you got Zach Geloff. 8 home runs.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he just came up this year. He's batting 300 something. Of course, the knockers have him. But look at that. He's got 8 home runs, but only 14 RBIs.
Yeah.
So he's good at hitting home runs when people aren't on base.
Oh, it's because he's on the A's, though, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you gotta make a good point with that. And then Nico Horner right here with 100 points. He's been pretty good for me, pretty solid all year.
I don't know if it's the same, but 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I saw that the expected RBIs on a homer is like 1.75. So it's only the average homer is a 2-run homer, but it's actually in between a solo and a 2-run homer, you know.
Check this out. Pitching over the last 30 days.
That was a dumb comment because not all of his 14 RBIs were on his homers. So that is a really dumb comment because so he probably did hit like 7 solo shots.
All right. So last 30 days in pitching, Pablo Lopez leads the pack. He is hot right now. 115 points in 5 starts, won 4 of them. And he's only given up 3 earned runs.
What is Arise doing now? What's he hitting? People were, hating on the Twins for making that deal, but Lopez is pitching well for them, and that's really what they need, God, they need him.
All right.
They're lucky they got the year out of Gray they did.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. 357.
357. Oh, he's really gone down.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to get 400. Not unless he goes on a tear like Julio Rodriguez for the rest of the season. I mean,
he was never really going to do it. But
I remember when George Brett late in the season made a run at it, and I think he get caught up in like the 390s. I think Tony Gwynn came close too. Oh, hold on a second. Let me bring up Baseball Reference here. Let's see. George Brett. Okay. Look at this shit here. Man, all the accolades. If he was a general, his whole chest would be full of ribbon. All right. Where was it? 390 in 1980.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, 390. That was the year he was getting close, and then he started to falter a little bit at the end. He's like, I ain't gonna make it. But even late in life, he had 37 in 142 games. He batted 329.
He led the league.
Mm-hmm.
His brother Ken was a good hitting pitcher too, I think, wasn't he? Like he probably didn't have an average over 200, but
no, he was a good hitting pitcher.
Yeah,
I remember that. Another good hitting pitcher back in the day was Kenny Holtzman. Matter of fact, the A's used to DH him time to time.
I remember.
Look at this. In 1979, he had 20 triples.
20 triples.
And he batted 329. Look at this OPS he had for the year. He had 390. He was 1.118 for the whole fucking year.
With 24 homers.
That's got to be one of the highest OPSs ever.
That
All right,
might be like the highest one for a guy that had 24 or fewer homers, right?
Yeah, but he had 118 RBIs.
Unless you
It's
go
all
back
like
to Cobb or something.
Yeah, I mean, like 33, 9 triples, 33 doubles. Most of it was singles, I'm pretty sure. But okay, wait, that year he only played 117 games.
Oh,
Huh.
he got injured.
Yeah, he was injured earlier in the season.
Because that wasn't the strike year. The 81 was the year that they split the season up.
Yeah, right here. God, look at how long he played.
They played more games than that in 81, though, so he was injured that year, too. I wonder if he missed the end of 80 and the beginning of 81 or something.
Well, he went all the way to 40, and he was with the Royals his whole fucking career. Look at that.
Look at that.
20 years with the Royals. That's insane. And the last year he played, he hit 19 fucking home runs and batted 266.
Man, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, fuck yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Right there.
Remember that?
And he was the MVP, 13-time All-Star, won the World Series, Gold Glove, 3-time batting title, 3-time Silver Slugger, ALCS MVP, and Major League Player of the Year.
Remember when you and Phil were making the case for Reigns to be in the Hall of Fame, and then you were like, on base, he was like, he is in the Hall of Fame. Like you guys talked about it for like 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And like, now I was nodding my head like, yeah, you guys are making a good case.
Look at his career WAR. His career
What?
WAR is 88.6 career WAR.
That'll get you
2,000 hits, 305 career batting average, 1,500 runs, 1,500 RBIs, 200 stolen bases, 369 career on base percentage, and a career OPS of 857, which was dumbed down probably by the last 4 years of his career.
When he was around,
look at this last 5 years of his career, kind of really dumbed down what he did before. He had a good year, that 902 right there, but 37, 45 doubles.
When Brett played, there were not a lot of third basemen to choose from as far as being the greatest third baseman of all time. I remember like there was always Pie Trainer, this guy for the Pirates from way back when.
Oh Jesus!
I
think it was more along the lines of like Greg Nettles.
Nobody mean like Eddie Matthews, Mike Schmidt, and George Brett. I mean, when Brett was playing, he was definitely, when he was done, I mean, he was definitely like top 4 third baseman of all time if you count Trainer. I don't know how to judge Trainer, but
well, if you remember, the good third baseman around that time period was George Brett. You had Bill Madlock. You had what's his name? Greg Nettles, Ron Say, Doug DeCinces, and I'm trying to think of a couple more here.
Well, Schmidt,
yes.
Well, Schmidt and Brett were the best too. I mean, you know,
Bob Horner.
They're in a different league than the other guys. You know.
Yeah, Bob Horner, he was another one.
Richie Hebner.
Bob Horner hit 4 home runs in a game.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in like the I can't remember, 80s, early 80s.
He was the original Niso Horn.
Who was the other guy I was supposed to look at here? Oh, Tony Gwynn.
He was good.
Nah, he was kind of all right, but he's not as decorated as the last guy, but Jesus Christ, he has more of everything. 5 Gold Gloves, 8 batting titles, 7 Silver Sluggers, 15-time All-Star Hall of Famer. His close year was 394 in 94.
Strike.
He also, I mean, hit 351, 370, 368, 353, 372. He had a career 338 batting average. Career. But George Brett had a better WAR at 88 point something, and he had 69.2 because of the home runs. I mean, they both had about the same amount of hits. I think George Brett had a little more at bats. Yeah, I think he was over 10,000. George Brett also had almost 2.5 times more home runs. About 120 something more.
They say
runs.
they say 60 WAR is the magic number to get to as far as getting the Hall of Fame. But how can you, like, if a guy had 55 WAR, don't you think he belongs in the Hall? I mean, Gwynn had 69.
The career
You know?
OPS is, I think, is almost identical. So let's look at this right here. Is 847 is his career OPS. Let's bring Brett back up here. 857.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, George Brett and Tony Gwynn are pretty much neck and neck for what they can do and what they did for baseball.
What
I mean,
was Gwynn's OPS plus?
his OPS. Okay, so this was
Not that
a
OPS is the
135.
greatest thing.
Let me see, Gwynn.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Tony Gwynn Jr. Yeah. 130, 132. So 135 to 132.
OPS isn't a perfect stat either. You know, it's close, but
No.
it's not perfect.
It's a production stat.
I think the better one would be the runs created plus whatever. If they had that for historical players, that would be a little bit better.
Great on base percentage his whole career. I mean, besides the batting average, I mean, well, fucking, what was Brett again? He was like low 300s. 305 still. And Gwynn had like 100 something stolen bases on him, but he had like 300, 400 extra RBIs.
Yeah. Brett
He had
stole
a little bit
bases
more
too,
slugging,
you know?
but as far as the batters I go with these two, holy shit, were they good.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know what? I mean, 3,000 hits for Gwynn with only having 9,200 at bats or 9,400 at bats, whatever the fuck it was. It's like 1,000 at bats less, and they got the same amount of hits. So that's got to chalk into this somewhere. It's just a lot of the home runs and RBIs factor into this WAR. And that's something because, you know, he was batting third and Gwynn was batting first. So he didn't have like the opportunity to knock people in as much.
So where are you with the Hall? Like, are you a big Hall guy, small Hall guy, medium Hall guy?
What?
Like Ron Santo. Do you think Ron Santo should be in the Hall?
Let's bring him up here. I can pick him apart or say a.
I think he belongs in, but I guess I'm a big Hall
Well, he was a
guy.
9-time All-Star and 5-time Gold Glove. All right, so his fielding was there. Look at yes, he did belong there because look at his WAR.
Yeah.
It's 70.5.
Yeah, that's not even as borderline as I thought. I don't
No,
know why
fuck
it
no.
took so long.
His on-base percentage was 362, 342 home runs. OPS is 826 for his career, and he's just below the Brett and Gwynn thing. And if you look at it, he didn't play nearly as long as those guys.
Yeah. He had diabetes.
Right. So as far as home runs go, he probably would have beat the shit out of him. If he played an extra 6 years like those guys did, he would have had 500 home runs probably.
Yes, the heart of his career was when nobody was hitting, you know.
Look
Like
at the walks he took.
Yastrzemski led the league in 67 with a 301 average.
You want to see something crazy here? Look at like 3 years in a row here, 96 walks.
Oh, see, he would have been a darling
92, he
today.
was always taking a lot of walks. He was a team guy.
That's probably why it took him so long to get in, because nowadays people respect that.
He was
And
also
they didn't think anything of it back then.
right. On base percentage of 412 in 66.
Yeah. No, he definitely belongs in.
Fuck yeah.
It's not even as borderline as I imagine it must have been because it took him so long.
No, it's just people needed to recognize. I'm gonna bring up Harold Baines because this one still burns me a little bit.
Yeah, but you
I mean,
can't
I'm
use
all for
Baines
Harold
as the
Baines, but
benchmark, you know, because he probably shouldn't be in.
all right, 6-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, Hall of Fame. All right, 38.8 WAR. He had 384 home runs and 990 at 9,900 at bats. That's fine.
He's
He didn't hit
like
3,000 hits. Okay. Yeah, he had a little more RBIs. His runs were good. Didn't steal any bases. On base percentage was over 350, so that's proper. OPS of 820, 121 on the OPS plus.
What was Baines' main position? Like besides DH, was it first base?
And
Right
he was
field. Okay.
right fielder, first base, and designated hitter.
if you have, over the winter, if you look at Hall of Fame by position, that third base, at least until recently, was like the least represented position. So like that alone Santos should have slid in there.
But look at how much, look at how many years he played. He played from 21 when he got up, and he played the whole year at 21. Pretty good inaugural season. Though he didn't take many walks, but his OBP was terrible. His OPS was terrible, but he got better. But he didn't really lead the league except for slugging in 84 in anything.
Yeah. I mean, he was a damn good player. And he's in the Hall, so I don't know. I guess I don't know what is the real problem with having even a player like Baines in who probably doesn't belong. Is it better to have a guy die and not get to have the whole ceremony? What do we care? How, I don't know. It's like, I think they should allow more people in.
Yeah. I was almost going to compare him to Bill Buckner, but facial
Yeah,
hair alone, Bill wins.
no way.
No, I can't compare him to Bill Buckner, but he was a better player than Bill Buckner.
Yeah, I would have thought that Billy Buck would have been closer.
Who's another player you want to look up, see if they're in the Hall of Fame, or see if they're worthy of the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I guess like Lofton, maybe. I mean, seems like he should be in, right?
Let's see. No, he's not in. Look at that, 68.4 WAR
Not a
for his
lot of
career.
WAR.
Look at 8,000 at bats, 2,400 hits, 299 batting average for his career, 1,500 runs. He was a leadoff hitter, so he didn't get a lot of runs batted in. 622 stolen bases, on base percentage 327 or 372.
Yeah, he belongs in.
I would say he does.
I mean, his OPS plus doesn't look great, but I mean,
Yeah, but you got to think
he's a
about
big power guy.
What he was built for and what he did well. And when you watch that motherfucker rob a goddamn home run, it was spectacular. He was one of the best fielding players out there.
Said
So
four-time
Kenny
Gold
Lofton, I say, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll get in.
Santo had to die in order to get in. That actually, you know what? They could have gave him that way before then, and they kept passing him on, and then right when he died, after that, that's when they fucking gave it to him. It was almost like a fucking fuck you.
I mean, I guess they have to have these rules, but remember Buck O'Neill? He came one vote short to get in under the Veterans Committee in whatever year that was, the 2000s. And then, he didn't get in, and he was really gracious because he was, obviously a very nice man. And he died, 2 weeks later. Like, what would have been the harm of just Jesus Christ, let him in, let him in. Jesus.
Right.
An old man, then he died 2 weeks later. It's just like, come on.
Bullshit.
I don't, just make it, I don't know. I know you don't want to cheapen it, but just let these guys in, I don't know. If there's a question, they should probably be in.
Andres Galarraga. If you're gonna put Harold Baines in there, you gotta fucking think about Andres Galarraga.
But Baines had a lot more WAR, right?
No, Baines was in the 30s. He's got 31.7, but he only batted 8,096 times and got 33 hits. He had almost 400 home runs, 288 batting, over 1,000 runs, almost 1,500 RBIs, stole 128 bases.
Didn't Baines almost have 40 WAR though?
Yeah. On base percent, no, Baines was in the 30s.
But it might have been 39 point something.
Hold on, let me go back. Well, here, let me just go through this one. On base percentage 347, slugging 499, OPS 846, OPS plus of 119. So it's very close. The OPS and the OPS plus very close to what Brett and Gwynn were. Baines.
Well, they were 125, 130, right?
Yeah, they're 120, 121. 38, 8. He had 121 there.
Yeah.
But he batted
Well, if you're
You know,
going to
he's a
make
better
Baines,
hitter, of course, with the batting
if
average
you're
is
going to
kind of
make,
like the same.
if you're going to
But
make, if you're going to make Baines the bottom rung of the ladder, then Galarraga can't get it, because he's definitely below Baines.
but he hit more home runs. It's all in perception. Let's see. But yeah, he's batting 288, so that's clear, similar to the career batting average of Baines. And
Yeah.
look at this. He didn't play as long. Actually, he kind of did. He didn't play in the majors or minor leagues that year. He's injured for the whole year. So he missed a year to injury. But look at all where he like led the league and shit. Well, that's strikeouts, fuck that. But RBIs twice, home runs once, doubles, hits, average 1 year, 370 he batted.
I wonder if he got hurt in spring training in '99,
Well, he played till
or
he
if
was
some.
43. I mean, his last year was with the Giants. I mean, he batted 301. He batted 300 when he called it quits with the Anaheim Angels.
I always think of when I see a drop off like that, like a year he didn't play. I think of like the beer league guy that like got him in the auction, and then he was like hurt. I don't know, but maybe he was hurt before the auction that year.
Yeah.
But he would have gone
But
for a lot. Look at those 3 years previous: 47, 41,
I
44
think
homers.
I think he's better than Baines, to be honest with you.
But not career wise.
Somewhat. Some ways other than others. Like he was more powerful. You put him, he didn't play as many games as Baines. That's the thing is he would get hurt. He lost a whole fucking season. So where would his numbers be if he didn't lose that whole fucking season?
Yeah, let's play 20 questions.
All right. You got a player in? You got a player in mind?
Yep.
All right. Top chair here.
No, leave Galarraga's page up, because I'm gonna need to refer to it to accurately answer the questions.
Is the player Andres Galarraga?
Yes, amazing. Oh my god, that's a record, right?
Yeah, I didn't even use one. That was my first. Yeah, one question. Well, got anything?
Nah, I was gonna look at the 30 days. No, that's about it. We know that Satch could very well break the record for most wins ever in a season.
Oh, he's well on his way. I mean,
And
like
that one's like maybe a 60% chance, but the other one is probably 95 at least percent chance. The the largest margin of victory. So, I'm gonna look this up. What Phil didn't Satch didn't start out like so great, right? I'm gonna see what
first like 4 weeks, I think he was mediocre, and then he just took off because you were the one that was like pounding everybody.
he was 16-10, 24-14. So yeah, at the end of April, he was 16-10.
Well, he never was probably any lower than third place. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he was 4-4 after a week and a half. So he was, lower than fourth, whatever that was. He was probably like in sixth or seventh. But after April, he was 16-10. So that was a good record. But look what he is now. So like he's gone since then. He's gone 74-19.
What's the over the last 5?
Oh my god, he's gone 74-19 since he was 16-10.
Yeah, it's like you got shot out of a cannon.
74-19. I'm gonna see what the heck that percentage is. That's a 795 percentage, almost 800 ball for a long time. We're not talking like 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, it's like for 15 weeks or something like that. Ah, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm almost glad that I didn't keep up my pace. I was more like a little above 500 probably since May. But what if I was, kicking ass? Like I would have thought, like, if I had played 600, 650 ball, and I still would have lost. I would have been like
Yeah.
800 ball. You don't ever think someone's going to play 800 ball for over half a season. So that's incredible.
Well, I mean, take a look at him real quick and see how many games up he's on. I mean, if he's not up on, like, how the fuck is he doing this if he's not up in games?
Yeah, he's going to probably finish under in games. I don't think he's going to make it all up. He doesn't need to. I guess if I were him, I would just want to make sure I had, if I'm going to play for anything besides first, it would be let's get the most wins in a season and the largest margin of victory. I think that would be a good season, considering we've had the league for 33 years.
But he's under. The fuck? Must be picking out some matchups, or I don't know. He's got some guru going on because he's like he's under in every fucking category as far as hitters go, and
Yeah,
his
so he's
pitchers
not
are only 70 innings over.
he's not like streaming anybody, like you said, that isn't hitting in the first four spots or so. He's not going to put in a center field like Randall Grichuk if he's hitting ninth or something like that. He would never do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I don't have any underage in my games, which I still probably will have. Now I'm just leaving guys in even if they don't start because I don't think I can make up my games. See if I'm wrong.
Interesting. Oh God, I did a mock draft today.
For football.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What'd you do first round running back?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, shit. If you're picking first and it's snakes,
Oh, first,
you're not
yeah.
picking until the 24th and 25th. Who the fuck is there then? It's oh, I have to. I'm forced to. But we're a PPR league, so
You get
McCaffrey it is.
one full point for reception.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to go with McCaffrey on this one. I think Eckler will probably go second, and then you'll see Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase go off the board.
We did it one year where we had
Travis Kelce could be a maybe fifth.
We had a half a point per reception, which I think the math works out better comparing it to other positions. But even though I asked Yahoo to drop the remainder, the whole year we had these scores like 78.5 to 64. I hated it. Everybody, I just wanted it to be a flat number. It's too bad you couldn't do half a point per reception, but your final score is a whole number. Like I hated
Right.
like saying, oh, well, they won 74.5 to 63.5 last game. It's a bummer. So we just dropped it completely. I was thinking it could be interesting is first downs. I haven't seen leagues that do that too much, but that would.
Let me bring up and see if I can see what I drafted. Usually they send you an email on it, and I'll just let you know what I did.
I mean, in real football, if you had one guy that had a 70-yard run and another guy that had 7 10-yard runs, the guy that had the 7 10-yard runs probably helped your team more, right? I mean, because you're getting the first. I don't know how to think of it. I mean, I know the 70-yard run, you're going to score. Let's say you got a touchdown, but the other team gets the ball back. After that 30 seconds or whatever. I don't know. It's better to grind out a drive where the guy had 7 10-yard runs. So I don't know. First downs could be an interesting stat to include. It would probably help tight ends a little bit, right?
Right. This is my mock draft. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. So this is the team from every draft pick.
DJ Moore, huh?
Had to. Probably the best wide receiver that was on the board at the time.
Well, it's good the Bears got him. They needed they needed that. Yeah, it's nice to get Mahomes in the second round, huh?
Wow, I got 5 wide receivers. Jesus, okay.
You picked first and you got Mahomes the last pick of the second round? That's pretty
It's not
nice.
a real league. It's just a mock draft.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just like
just,
with
it's just,
strangers on Yahoo or something.
yeah, it's just, it's a fake draft. Just people seeing kind of like just practicing
Yeah.
and kind of seeing where people are falling, you know. And you know, you do enough of these, you do them for like a fucking month if you want, and you kind of get an idea of who's going to be around where. Um, so I'm
Do you
just
ever
trying
get
to get that feel for what I might be able to get away with. But you never know until draft day when
is
people
everybody taking the mock draft seriously? Like there's not like some joker that's taking a
no,
kicker in
you
the first
know, I
round?
don't even know if the other guys do it. I showed Elizabeth how to do this, but I don't even know if the other guys do it at all. You know, last year I did this for a month and I sucked.
No, I mean like
So,
the other guys in your mock draft, they're real guys, right?
well, they're real guys from around the country, but none of us
Yeah.
are actually playing
I'm
in a
saying, do
league
you
or
ever get
anything.
somebody? Do you ever get somebody that is like is joking around and like takes a kicker in the first round or something?
Yeah, no, no, I've never seen that.
Okay.
Most people are just practicing for their. They're just everybody else like me. They're just trying to get an idea of where guys are going to be falling in the pecking order and who might go a little later. Because there's some guys that I've done like 3 of these, and the same guys tend to fall in each draft. So that kind of lets me know that yeah, these guys could slip a little bit, you know. But yeah. Now, if I got this team in my Lemmings league, I'd be pretty happy with it, I think.
Lemmings League, how many players do you have total?
17.
17. And what do you start? 9 a week?
We do a quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a flex, tight end,
All right, so
kicker,
that's
defense.
10. I think that's 10, right?
Let's see. Quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, flex, kicker, defense. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, that's big. Like we start 1 running back and a flex. So 1 running back, 2 receivers, a tight end, and a flex. So we're really
Mm.
small. We start, what is that? 8. So we're 2 less than you. 1 less receiver and 1 less running back.
When you dilute the pool a little bit, though, it tends to make people dig a little deeper.
Yeah. Oh no, no. I mean,
Like, look at the number 1 round in this. It went Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Eckler, Tyreek Hill went 5th. My guess is Matt Beato is from Miami. He went before Tyreek Hill went before Travis Kelce. Bijan Robinson, who hasn't even taken a snap, went before Cooper Kupp.
where are you with your tight ends? What do you think? Do you have you ever been the first to take a tight end?
No, not usually. Not usually. Kelsey goes so soon. I don't like taking tight ends before the fucking 4th round, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's too many other players. I mean, there's too many other valuable positions. And to be honest with you, there's only like three tight ends that are worth having, and then the rest of them are just hit or miss.
Yeah.
You know, I would say it's Goddard would be one of them that's pretty good. Andrews, maybe Kittle, and Kelsey.
Lemmings League, you already have the draft order and you're picking first in the Lemmings League, right?
Yeah, what we did was we picked it out of a
Yeah.
we picked it out of a hat. We just like I put names on paper, put it in a hat. There's 4 or 5 of us from the league usually sitting there at the corner of the bar, pretty much anytime I'm in there. You know, Paul pops in and makes 6.
Did you
But
bend the corners a little bit on the one
you
that had
couldn't
your
tell.
name on it?
It was all balled up. You just couldn't tell. So I would pass the hat to the other members, and you know, it's like there's 5 eyes on this. You can't claim that fucking bullshit. Um, but like, yeah, I fucking got the first pick in the draft. I was pissed off. I wouldn't mind the 12th, 12 sounds better to me.
Can you trade him?
No.
No.
There's no keeping. The person ends up in last place last year. It doesn't even matter about the draft order. The draft order is completely random. It's like it's
Yeah, you don't want to have somebody like tanking to get the first pick or something like that. There's no retention, so
there's we're not keepers, no keepers.
So is your mind made up then? McCaffrey's going to be who you take first?
I think so.
I hope he stays healthy for you.
There's a little bit of a quarterback fucking thing going on in the 49ers land. Looks like Trey Lance had a very good game last game. He threw an interception early, but then he backed it up with 3 touchdown passes.
Well, all he has to do to make the team is beat out Darnold, right?
Well, Darnold's been good too. And what's his name? Purdy?
He hasn't looked good. Purdy hasn't looked good, he hasn't played probably much,
I don't
right?
think he hasn't played that much. He got hurt really badly at the end of last season, so I don't know about that. And it's like, okay, he played very well, but I've seen guys play very well and then turn to shit. He's too young. Like right now, I can't trust him. Right. So I can't really take him in like as my quarterback to.
Well, nobody's going to take a 49ers quarterback very early. I think that you're talking like late.
No, you would definitely be a backup.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
You don't want to make a mistake in your first 2 picks, but I think that those next picks, like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, those are the ones where it's a lot of choices to make. That's where you can win, right? I think it's like those kind of picks. And then if you get lucky with late round picks, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really, most of your fantasy, I think most of your fantasy football leagues are won from the fifth draft, like the 5th round on. I mean, you can draft, these great players in the first 5 rounds, but fuck, if they get hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your first round pick just has to be a guy that can't get hurt. That's why it's funny.
Guys are going to get hurt.
McCaffrey, you're really rolling the dice there, right? I mean,
so I mean, like the backups, how you choose your backup is important. Last year, I ended up getting Tony Pollard. And then all of a sudden it turned into, and then I got Ezekiel Elliott also, but I got the 2 of them and they were sharing the backfield. Then Ezekiel went down for a little bit and it was just Tony Pollard's show. And he was putting up fucking major points. That guy's good, but now he's got, I think Ronald Jones is backing him up, but he's suspended. And then they got this guy, Deuce Vaughn, who's like 5'5" and about 190 pounds or 200 pounds. He's quicker than shit. He's got good moves. He's hard to catch.
I mean, obviously your quarterback, your tight end, whoever, you're not going to choose the same bye week for those 2 quarterbacks. But at running back, like if I'm taking, 4 running backs, I actually will try not to have any of them with the same bye week. But you can obviously get away with it. You could, as long as no more than 2 had the same bye week, it would be all right. But I still like to, because I don't think that I understand who is the 116th best player as opposed to the 117th best player, or something like that. Like it's so minor that I do look at the bye weeks. I won't choose a running back or receivers that have the same bye weeks. I just go to the next guy on the list, even if the guy's higher up. I know there's 2 schools of thought with that, but that's what I do because I don't trust that I truly know that this guy he's the 37th best wide receiver or something, and this other guy's the 39th. Who knows, right? I mean,
right? Yeah, going to be interesting, man. I just number 1 pick. I haven't had the number 1 pick. I don't think ever. Well, actually, I think I've had it once, and it didn't do me very well because I got hurt very early in the season. He was done.
I bet you most people would like to pick in the middle or maybe a third of the way through.
I picked in the middle too, and that's kind of a suck spot, especially if you're like
it depends where the big drop off is. Depends where the big, at least perceived drop off is, you know.
My sweet spot is 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. That's my sweet spot right there. So, I know it seems like the 12th is almost too long.
12th is nice because you get 2 of the top 13 players taken, but then it goes another, 24 picks before you get 2 more. It's like, by then it's a really different draft, like.
Yeah. That's the one. That's why I'm doing so many mock drafts right now, is to kind of see the fucking what the law of averages are. Seeing where people fall, just on a norm. It just fuck. I mean, wait 23 picks before you can pick again. I mean, you're just like, okay, okay. You've got no other big hitters. Thank God you got the one big hitter, but he gets hurt a lot too.
Yeah.
And so does Eckler. Because those guys are getting the ball so fucking much. That's why they get hurt. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just luck, like staying healthy and maybe hitting on a few or at least one big lottery ticket late in the draft,
Yeah, that's shit. It's like that in that mock draft. I saw that Mahomes was there as 24. I'm like, holy fuck, really?
Yeah, that's no brainer.
Nobody took a quarterback yet out of that group. And I'm like, fuck. All right. Well, I might as well grab the best quarterback on the board right now.
I mean, it depends on
Now
the
I have
scoring
the best
system.
running back.
I play in a league. I play in another league that I don't run, and the quarterbacks get 6 points for a touchdown pass. In the league I run, we only get 3 for a touchdown pass.
You got Devontae Smith was that third pick, and the team was great with Jalen Hurts and shit. It's gonna be good this year. Like I said, if my draft kind of goes like that, I'll be pretty satisfied.
But your draft goes deeper, right? You get 17 rounds.
Yeah, but I don't. Here's the other thing too: is I only pick one defense and one kicker. I figure there's going to be somebody on my roster that's going to be droppable. Okay, so when I get to the defensive side of it, if and when I have to change, there's going to be somebody I can toss in order to pick up a defense if I want to keep the defense I have now. But you can always stream them too.
Yeah,
it just really depends on how good your defense is from a week-to-week basis.
I can't see having a backup kicker or defense instead of another chance at a running back or a receiver. So I'll go with the extra running back and receiver, and I don't carry a backup. And when the kicker's bye week comes up, I just drop them. I don't care. I mean, it's like the guy.
Some people stream kickers like we do catchers in our baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even stream them, but at least for that, I don't care. And sometimes I get them back, or so I mean, after the bye week's over. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't. I need all the help I can get. I need another chance to hit on something, at running back and receiver, and I'm not going to burn that, that option with an extra kicker or defense.
So. Right.
Defenses, I think, would be interesting. I don't know how you stream kickers but I could see streaming defenses. You're depending on the team you're playing. That could easily work. I'm sure if Phil was in the league, he would be streaming the defense.
No, there's people do it. Yeah, there's times where it's like, okay, I gave a defense like 5 weeks to show up, and if they were mediocre or not really doing it for me, I just like fucking start streaming. Yeah. Come to the curb, start streaming.
Kickers are tough because it's not like you can choose the most prolific offense, and that's the best kicker. Because you want offenses that have a lot of possessions, but falter in the red zone. Ideally,
you want the kicker on a team that's got a good matchup. It has nothing actually to do with the actual person as a kicker, but if the team's got a good matchup and they're going to probably score some points on the other team. Good to have their kicker that day because he's going to get an extra point, chip shots, and all kinds of shit. If they're moving the ball on him.
2 teams play and one team wins 28-16. The one kicker got 4 points and the other one got 10. So it's hard. I think it's hard to stream kickers, I mean, you're definitely not looking at the best offense. You're looking at I don't know, an offense that does score, but they faltered the red zone or something.
Now
Without turnovers.
we've
You don't
had
want
some
a turnover
kickers.
offense.
We've had some kickers put up fucking 28, 30 something points because he hit like 3 bombs from 50.
Yeah, we don't have the bonus points.
Oh, we escalated farther back. The more you make, the more you get. So I mean, it's almost like a kicker can score a touchdown if he's getting like a 50 or 60-yard field. 60-yard field goes, I think, 10 points.
We've even had some people that wanted to not just do away with kickers, not even have it.
Fuck that.
Yeah, but I mean that's where we don't have the bonus ones.
Yeah.
The bonus points 3, 4, 5 or whatever. We just have 3, 3, 3, 3. You know, it's all 3 points.
Maybe they should do punters and like yeah, if you get them inside the 20 or inside the 5.
Yeah.
Then you have some shit bird from some shit team that's always punting the ball.
Yeah, you could have a punter. I don't think we ever did it, but you could have something like that. I had one with individual defensive players, which I like the idea of because, I got to know some of the defensive players. All I know is these fantasy football players. I don't know the middle linebacker on the Bengals or something,
Oh yeah. Yeah, like single, like I know some people do single defensive players, but I was in a league like that before, but I didn't really care for that. I mean, it just
I didn't really like it. I mean, I liked that it was forcing me to learn a little bit more, know a little bit more about defensive players and stuff, but it wasn't that fun, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had 2 linemen, 2 linebackers, and 2 defensive backs. You could have a.
Oh, you had like almost a. Christ, were you right behind me?
Yeah,
this guy's
6.
like, what the fuck? What was that?
What's up, Frankie? It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm going to see you in March.
He's such a good guy.
So Norm, I talked with Norm a few nights ago.
Oh yeah, how's he doing?
He's doing good. He said it was 84 degrees, and he said it feels great. And he said he might have to put on a pair of socks because they had a night where the low temperature was 97.
Oh my God.
So I told him when it was 84 there, I told him it was 64 in Connecticut, and I had the windows open, no AC. It was great. But even 84, which would be a muggy night here.
Well, aren't they going to get a ton of rain from this fucking like hurricane?
I asked him about that, and he said it was probably going to miss them by 30 or 50 miles, but he said he really wouldn't mind having the rain. But what was I saying?
Yeah, because things will grow in his yard.
I forgot what I was going to say, but Norm said he's going to come earlier this year, so he's going to stay for a while. He's not going to be like just a couple of days and drive back.
So he might want to hang out with Chad for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think
his other buddy that he was in a band with.
Going to take a couple of weeks, but I don't know if I have that right. It was by text, so I can see what he said.
Sounds like he misses us. And plus, he's probably been. I mean, I don't know about his company, but like if we don't use our vacation, we lose it.
Yeah, he said he's going a couple of weeks early next year, so he's gonna be around for a while.
Nice.
I'm gonna come probably like one day earlier. Didn't I come on Thursday this year? Thursday night. So I think I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna come on Wednesday this
year. Dude. You can get the cheapest ticket for. You can come on Tuesday. You're not, in my way at all.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how long you want to get the fuck away from the house, how long you want to, how long you want to be away from work.
Well, the kids are, all adults now, so it's not like as hard for me to go.
Yeah.
Because there was always so much to do. So.
But
all right.
All good, man.
We want to.
I'm actually looking forward to next year's draft.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that terrible? Like, I am. This year's like toast. So I'm already like,
Last year I ended up in 6th place. Oh, right now I'm in 7th.
Yeah, you're going to finish 6th or 7th well, 6th according to the prediction model.
So then I finish the same way I finished last year, and I get the second pick.
Yeah.
That's what I did this year. I had like the second or third. I think it was 6 last year, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It was 2nd or 3rd. Yeah, I think you were 2nd. I think Paul was 1st.
Paul was first. Yeah, he was 5th place. Oh, I feel bad for Larkin, man. His team had a rough go this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad he wasn't on. Well, hopefully he'll be on next week. We'd like to hear what he has to say. You know, like what.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
So we have 4 guys that haven't done it a 3rd time, and so that's Chris, Kimmler, Doug, and Chad. So we have
Wow.
we'll have a real full house.
So it's gonna be 6 people on the screen.
Yeah. So
Huh.
hopefully I'll just sit back and listen. So
Yeah, let them talk. We do have the chat room too, so if people want to put their hands up when they have something to say, they can direct it.
oh, how does that work?
No, this little chat thing right there at the bottom. Okay, it brings up the meeting chat over to the side here, and you can just hit reactions and just go, "Hey, I got a question." Wait a minute.
Oh, nice. Oh, reactions. See, I don't know all these fancy gadgets.
I didn't get it to work right. Fuck. Did you see the hand like this?
Yeah, clapping or whatever.
Okay, you see it on your end. I don't see it here. I just hit reaction and then the clapping went up. So that's like putting your hand up.
Hmm.
Isn't that something?
Nice.
All these city slickers will think of everything. Bobby Witt hit a home run. Woo-hoo! And Adolis Garcia hit a home run. Looks like I'm not getting 1 point today. I'm getting more than that.
Yeah, that's good. You had 1 point from your first 4 players, right?
All right, so right now I'm sitting on 14. I have no pitchers going whatsoever. And all my relievers have pitched already, but none of them got in the game. So yeah,
I had
so
Reds.
I'm depending on the pitching, the hitting I've got going on right now.
I had Reds and Angels players. That's no good.
I did too. So I'm missing Encarnacio Strand, I'm missing Drury, I'm missing Stevenson, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of saves today. Finnegan was off, and Diaz and Estevez were postponed. So unless one of my SPRP guys gets one.
What do you want?
No, the Cardinals lost 11-1. KC's losing 3-2. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good, Jeff.
Yikes.
Hicks is off.
Wow. See, Seattle beat the White Sox 14-2. Holy shit.
Oh, I thought Pete had a home. No, Pete didn't have a home. He drove a run in. That's what it was.
Who fucking lost the game for the White Sox is what I want to know. That would be Tuki Toussaint.
14-2.
Went 4 innings with 7 earned runs.
Some lopsided games today. Mets won 10-4.
Did anybody have Tuki in the game today?
Pittsburgh won 11-1 over Cardinals. Well, you want to call it?
I think so. I think last week, taking half the amount of time we did last week. I mean, next week's probably going to be a long one.
Yeah, last week we were on for another like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
That was like a 4.5 hour deal.
That's crazy. That will forever stay as the longest one.
I mean, anybody who listens to that front to back is a masochist.
I did it, because I just played at work, so it's just like going. I don't have to watch it. I know what we all look like.
Yeah.
So,
They're just remembering what the fuck we said. There's drinking involved. And this guy really wants to take a look at us. And you're
hey,
drinking.
Frankie.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Frankie,
want to go
we're
outside,
going. We're
don't you?
done.
You want to go outside?
We're done, Frankie.
Hey, you want to go outside?
Roy?
Go outside?
Roy?
Yeah, he's got a fucking turtle head poking or something, man. All right.
All right.
Great to see you.
See you next week.
See you next week. We'll be back.
Right.
28th.
Yes.
All right. And after that, be 5 weeks left.
The last one before the end of the year. Last one until after the season. I guess that's better.
Yeah, tomorrow's the coup de grace. Our next one's the coup de grace.
Just think of that.
We're not doing September.
So
And then maybe we'll do one more in like what World Series area?
October, November.
Why don't we do one for each like round of the playoffs?
Well, I wanted to do it like if there's no games. You know, I don't want to do this instead of watching the game.
That's true.
So, but you know, think of it. Next week, the 28th, we won't know how the season has turned out. You know, we don't know who's going to win and who's going to. No, I guess we.
Yeah, we'll have a recap. All right, man. Well,
I got a pretty good idea who's going to win, but I'm not going to say who. But I got a pretty good idea.
I think we're thinking about the same person here.
Yeah, you think so?
Really depends on second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth.
All right.
Dude. Well, have a great week, and as always, awesome talking with you.
Okay.
And yeah, thanks, Paul, for being on. And
awesome mocking with you.
Yeah. So, all right, I will see you later, and again next week. So, until then, peace.
Okay.